Background level noise.
So started. Okay. So what we have seen till now is that the two-way matching and the three-way matching. Okay.
Yes.
So these are the things that we have seen. So in terms of configurations, so we have seen or we have covered almost all the configurations. So except this transaction account definition
Yeah.
or the TAD definition that we'll have to cover. So
Mm.
probably I'll cover this, okay, and then we will have to create this inspection plan.
Mm.
So inspection plan is basically part of the quality management, but for this, in order to complete this four-way matching, so we will need this option. Okay, so these are the two configurations that we will have to look at it. So once this is done, so then we will see how we will process the transactions. So in terms of creating from the requisition and then creating the negotiation and how do we award the negotiation. Okay, so these
Okay.
are the things that we have planned for today.
Okay.
So first thing that I will pick is this one, the
Okay.
transaction
Are
account
we
definition.
covering contract in this?
Hello.
Uh, Are we covering contract on that?
Yeah, contract is also covered. So that's what, as I said, so first we'll cover this purchase order and
Okay.
then we'll cover this blank purchase order and after
Okay.
that we are covering this contract. So
Okay.
contract I have, I am having it as a last item.
Mhm.
Maybe if we want to change the sequence, we can change basically.
Okay. Okay. Uh, I think if you go by a process flow, then it will be fine. Sourcing, awarding,
Yeah.
contract, then purchase order, and like that. With the flow, if you go, okay, then it will be easy.
Okay. 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 Fine. No issues. Just give me a moment. Okay. So the suggested flow is also fine. So then what I will do is that so I'll complete this
Oh,
tag
it's
configurations and then probably after this we can see the contracts
okay.
and then we'll see the inspection plan. So once that is done, so then we'll see the entire flow, that is creating the
No.
contract and then creating the requisition and then the negotiation. So the remaining flows. So
Okay.
maybe we can use this as a flow.
Suggestion, but you can go with your flow. No problem.
Okay, okay, fine then. Okay, so I'll just change this to procurement offering. And if I come down a little bit down, so I have this option called procurement transaction account rule. Okay, so this is similar to the SLA rule that we have it in the finance module, but what is the change that we have it here as a transaction account definition? So this is what we are referring to TAD or the transaction account definition.
Mm.
So in terms of SLA configuration, so we have the journal entry rule set and then we have the supporting reference
Mhm.
and then we have the mapping set, account rule, all those configurations needs to be done in order to complete this SLA, I mean the custom SLA are based on the requirement. If I want to customize the way that the accounting works, I
Mm.
can use that option. But here in terms of setup, so we have only two things, two
Mhm.
or three, I can say. It depends on the scenario. So I'll just explain both the scenarios. So when we'll go for two and when we'll go for three. Okay. So once this is done, So simply we'll attach this transaction account definition to the ledger. So once that is done, so then the account will be picked up from this setup what we have given. Okay. So I'll just show the condition. So for time being, what I will use is that the buyer as a condition that I'm using it, but I'll also show the list of options that we can use. Okay. So like if I want to use based on the inventory organization, or if I want to use based on the business unit, or if I want to use based on the delivery location. So there are multiple options that I can use. Okay. So to put it in the simple terms, so this option is used basically to record or to generate the accounting entries. So when we say the accounting entries, it is for these three items. So this we have seen it already. So I'll just put here. So one is the accrual, and the other one is sorry, charge, and then the variance. Okay. So now charge, we know that, so the actual expense that is booked here. So now if I'm probably, let's say I'm trying to procure an item or procure this particular item for my manufacturing process. So I'll treat this particular purchase as my raw material. So now I don't want to give it as a specific to the item, but I wanted to categorize this, saying if this is raw material or finished good. But this categorization will apply only to the what do you call, only to the material that I procure for my manufacturing process. But apart from this, I also have the miscellaneous items, and then the miscellaneous services, and then the actual services that I take from the vendor. For example, the advertisements and all those things. So even for the advertisements, so there are certain scenarios wherein we will create this consolidated purchase order, okay, and we will release it. Okay, so that is also there. So now here in terms of services, we will say exactly this is the service that I have consumed. In this case, it is the advertisement expenses. But here, since it is the raw material that we are procuring, so we don't need to specifically say it is for this particular item. So usually it is treated as the raw material account. Okay. So now here what I will give is that raw material account. Okay. And then I have this accrual. So accrual meaning that if I have received the item, but I did not invoice this. So basically this accrual account is created, or accrual account is there in Oracle for the purpose of tracking whether the received items are invoiced. Because if I receive this particular item, then I'm liable to pay to the vendor for the quantities that I have purchased. Okay. So for this purpose, we are creating this accrual. So accrual is a temporary account. So when I book this particular purchase order, so automatically this, sorry, when I book this invoice, so this accrual will be knocked off. So when this accrual account is opened, so when I create the receipt transaction, so that is when this accrual is opened, and this is closed when this invoice is booked against this particular receipt. Okay. So the variance we have seen already. So variance is nothing but basically if there is any difference between the prices. So that is when I will have the variance account that will come into picture. Or else I will have only these two accounts, that is charge account and the accrual account. So if I match this particular receipt or the purchase order with the invoice, so then it is the accrual account that I will have it in my debit item in the invoice screen. Okay. So these are the three accounts that we will have to configure. So now if I want to look at the way that I'll set up this, so on top I have this transaction account definition. Okay, so under this I have account rule, and then I have something called mapping set. Okay, so now this transaction account definition will have lot of rules that is associated, because I will not be able to create multiple transaction account definition. It is one transaction account definition which I will associate or attach with the ledger. So ledger meaning the primary ledger. Okay. So now this account rule can be multiple. So let's say I wanted to have multiple rules that needs to be written. So what I will say here is that, so in terms, so here there are two things. So one is that if I want to add my input, so input meaning, so this is kind of an if condition. So if this is matched, then what should be the output? So that is what we are referring to. Output are the actual results. So when I say actual result, so this is nothing but the account code combination that I wanted to derive if I create this purchase order or the receipt transaction. Okay. So now this input which we are talking about, it is fixed. So once we have created this particular what do you call the account rule, so this input I'll not be able to edit it, or I will not be able to add the second input. But if this input is fixed, which means this condition is fixed. So let's say I am having two conditions. So one is the buyer, okay, and the second one is the business unit. Okay, so these are the two conditions that I have written. So now I not only don't want to go with these two options, so I also want to track based on the inventory organization. Okay, so in this case I will not be able to use this condition set or this rule set that I have created. So in this case I will have to create the second one saying that adding these three conditions are these three input criteria. Okay, so now once this criteria details are given, so then I will have to give the output. So output meaning here, if so here I'm just giving the skeleton, meaning these are the three fields that I want the stat rule to be looked upon. So now I have given this as an buyer, which means this is my skeleton, but I have not said the buyer is Ahmed, or I have not said this is Raj. Okay, so now this I will define it here in the output. So in the output section, so I will have two things. So one is that the condition, so that is whether I want to see for Raj or Ahmed. Okay, so let's say it is for Raj. Okay, so now if this is matching, so if user has selected Raj, which means that Raj is creating this purchase order or the receipt transaction. So what is the account that I wanted to generate? So probably let's say I wanted to generate account something like this. Okay, so this is the account that I want to generate. Okay, so this value I can add multiple. So now I have given this as one. So let's say I wanted to add for Ahmed also with different combination, maybe instead of 101, so I wanted to add as 102 because Ahmed is working in different level or different layer. Okay, so if I want to give this as a multiple one, so anytime I can add this, but if I want to add this condition, so I'll have to create new one. So we'll see this in the system, but to give, yeah,
Okay, okay, go
okay,
ahead.
okay. So, so that's what. So, but to give the high level this thing, so I'm just explaining this, but we'll also look at the system. Okay. So now in account rule, so I have multiple options that I can use. So I'll just go to the application and I'll go to the manage account rule. Okay, so I'll just say create and let me give this as TF. Okay, and this I'll take it as US sort of accounts. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so now if I come down, so this is where I'm giving the rule. Okay, so now I can say this is constant value, or this is mapping set, or this is account rule. So let's say I'm saying this, okay, mapping set, maybe I'll come back. So now if I want to set the constant value, that is if this let's say I'm looking at the project field. Okay, so now If this project field is blank, which means that this is not project transaction. So because unless I mention this here in the rule, so system will not generate the account code combination. Okay, so that is the reason we are giving these account code combination. So now here, if you see, so if the project segment is blank, then I wanted to generate this account. So I'll give the account here. Okay, so probably I don't think here we have the default value, but usually we will have the default value if it is line of business or the cost center or the product. Okay, yeah, here. So here we have something called none. So none are the default value. Okay, so I will give this. So let me just give one. So randomly I'm just giving, but we can give the actual one. So this is the combination that I want to generate. Okay, so now here if I go down and click for source, so here I'll be able to search the particular source. Okay. I will not be able to search here. I think I'll have to drill down. Let me check once. Or for time being, I'll just say this one because for project I'll have to drill down a little more. So for time being, I'll just take this category. I think it is here. So I'll select this and it is equal to, or if I want to say not equal to or great. Okay, or let me say or let me call this as null. So when this is null, so then I wanted to generate this combination. Okay, so let me try to validate this. I think this is case sensitive. Okay, I think maybe this has to be associated with the category. So that's it. Okay, maybe, but this is this one. So if we have created this lookup and associated with this, so we'll be able to give it. Okay, so once this is done, so we'll just save and close it. So this is for the constant one. So the second one, what I have is that source. Okay, so now source meaning, so whatever the actual transaction. So source here meaning if I'm selecting the project transaction, so then it is the project number or the what do you call the expenditure or name. So what are the details that I want to capture here? So that I can give it here. Okay, so so let me try to check here. So it is project costing.
That is a null account is there. Null
Yeah, so here they have defined for the project costing they have defined. There for the purchasing so they did not define anything. So that's it. Yeah, so here we should be having a field called project number. So project costing is the only one that we will have. Okay, so for time being, I'll just say this is the expenditure burden cost account, but ideally we will have this one, the project number. So the way that we will do is that, so because in the AP invoice screen, because the flow that we know, so it will start from the purchase order and it will end here in the invoice screen. So wherein we copy this project details to the invoice screen, and from here we'll send this information to the project costing module. Okay, so there actually the project details are imported. So it is based on the project number. So now here, if I give the project number, because the way this will work is that, so I will have my a segment called project. So in this segment, so I will have this project number. So this project number will be same or similar to what I have it in the project accounting module, that is project number. Let's say my project number there in the project accounting module is 010. So the same value that I will have it in my COA values in the chart of account values. Okay. So now if I say source as project number, so I'll just check for this because ideally we should be getting this. So recently we did for one customer, so we used this rule for the default one. So ideally we should be getting the source as project number. Okay, so
But project
basically it's just,
where we'll
yeah.
have to define, I believe, right?
Sorry, I did not get you.
No, project costing subledger module is application is there in the list of values. On top of
Correct.
that, it says adjusted expenditure like that. Okay, project code need to be defined, I believe, right?
No, usually the project
In the
number will
source,
come as
I
a,
mean value
okay, okay,
value has to be defined, right? Because project costing purchasing is there, but
okay.
I think somewhere value has to be defined. Then it will come in list of values, I believe, right?
Hmm.
Any
I'm
sense?
not sure if the other team has defined, but I did not define specifically for the project costing because I have seen this because I searched for the project number, selecting this project costing in the test environment. So I got it. So as far as I know,
Okay.
I'm not sure if this needs to be defined.
Mm,
I'm not sure if we will have to add in the source this thing.
maybe defaults from project module.
Yeah. So it should come as a default, and since this is this one, so I don't think so, but let me check once. Okay, let me check if we will need to define this as a separate source component because in my case, I did not define it. I'm not sure if that has happened because I'm not sure if the project team has defined also because I got inputs and based on that, I basically set up this rule. But then after that, I got this project values populated.
Okay.
So I am in the impression that we don't need to give a separate setup for the source. But anyway, let me check that and I'll come back on that point.
No problem.
Okay. So this is US chart of account, and yeah, so the next one, yeah, so the source is similar. So we'll just give the source,
Okay.
and the way this will behave is that, so if I have given the project number in the invoice screen in the project number field,
Hmm.
so this chart of account value, that is project, so that will be picked automatically. So I
Okay.
don't need to give it automatically. So that's the functionality of source. So
Okay.
the next thing is the mapping set. Okay. So for mapping set, again, this is basically the condition, and if the condition
Arun,
matches,
Arun,
yeah.
before go to mapping set, in source, I have a
Okay.
question. For example, I have
Okay.
a DFF field in
Okay.
purchase order distribution line
Okay.
to identify each project
Okay.
because we don't have a project module. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. In that case, whether I can whether I can see that DFF, whatever
Yeah.
value we are giving, that value
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, we can see. So we have something called attribute 1, 2, 3. So that is the one that will be using as a DFF for the
Yeah.
line of the distribution. So
Yeah.
using that, we'll be able to write the rules. So in the source, we'll have to give the attribute column.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have to search for the purchasing, and under that, we can see the attribute columns.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Right. We'll explore later. No problem.
Okay.
Just to understand the logics. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, so I'll just go to this mapping set. So mapping set is again the same thing, but if so why do we need this mapping set? Is that so because here the fields are the options that if you see, so it is similar to the accounting rule, but then so what is that? It is different here is that so this mapping set I'll be able to import it. So let's say I have an requirement.
Hmm.
Just give me a moment. I think I'm out of charge. I'll just plug in the charge.
Okay.
Okay. So the mapping set is similar to account rule, as I was saying. So
Hmm.
the difference is that so for the mapping set, I'll be able to use the Excel sheet, that is FBDA template, to
Hmm.
load the mapping set. Because if you see here,
Hmm.
so let's say I have an requirement. So this is an art requirement that I'm talking about. So let's say I wanted to basically write this mapping set or write this rules
Hmm.
based on the inventory organization. So even the inventory organization will not be huge, which we can create it manually also. So let's
Hmm.
say I wanted to create it basically based on the delivery location. So delivery location, let's assume that I have more than 100. Okay. Or let's say I have this item. So specific to the item, if I am managing this accounts, so then I might need to generate it basically based on this. So now if I want to create it using this account rule, so I will not be able to. basically load or use the Excel option to load the setups. But in this case, I will be able to load it. So once that is done, so I can import this particular mapping set. Okay. So now this mapping set that we are referring to is nothing but for the skeleton which we have created. So if I want to basically add the values, so let's say here I have given condition as the delivery location, okay, and I have given this chart of accounts and everything. So now if I want to add the multiple location, let's say I want to add Chennai location, Bangalore location, Delhi location, Mumbai location. So I can add this in the Excel sheet and I can upload or import this Excel sheet. So which will populate the values here instead of I create it manually for each one of the locations. Okay. So, but in terms of functionality of the setups, so both are same because if you see here, so it's the account combination or the segment that we are talking about. So this we have seen it, but I'll just repeat once. So account combination is for the combination and segment, of course, we know. So for which segment. So I'll just create it for I mean, I'll create it as account combination, okay, and I'll just save and add this. So let me say this is for the purchase order. So this is for the deliver to location. Let me see, okay, okay, and the chart of accounts is US. Okay. So now if I want to basically import, so I'll be able to do it. So for which I'll have to prepare this FBDA, but this FBDA is basically similar to what we have for the other modules, that is to import the invoices and the other option. So the same thing. Okay, so I'll just create one as a manual option. So if you see here, so it is the same thing. So I will have to just select one location. So I'll just select this one, that is 01 New York. Okay, and this is the combination that I want to have. So I'll just say randomly one account. So this one. Okay. So So this is what I have done. So now if this is the delivery location, using this, if I create one purchase order, so which means that this account code combination will be used. So now this account code combination will be used, that we can understand using this option, but we will not know whether this will be used for accrual or this will be used for charge. So this will be defined at the transaction account definition setup. Okay, so I'll just say save and close. And I'll create one account rule. Okay, so we created as the account combination, so that's why I have selected this as account combination. So if we have selected this as this one, we call the segment. So we'll have to select this as segment, and for each of the segments, we'll have to create this. So in that case, I'll say probably the company segment one account rule, and for the project and the product and the location, then the account. So for each one of it, so I'll have to create separate account rule. Okay. So in this case, it is the account rule that we have selected. So now here in the rules section, so I have this mapping set which I have selected. Okay. So from here, I can attach the one that we have given there. So if I'm not using this mapping set, so I can give the condition, so which we have seen it already. Okay, so that is the same thing, but this condition is already applied in the mapping set. So I don't want to give the second condition, because if I give second condition again here, so which means system is going to check two conditions.
Mhm.
That is, one is at the mapping set level and the second one is at the account role. So when both the conditions are matched, or the both the conditions are applied, so then the specified account code combination will be generated. Okay, so that is what it is. So I'll just do a save and close,
Okay.
and I'll go to the transaction account definition. Okay, so I'll just say add, and say TF underscore tag. Okay, and the chart of account is US chart of accounts. Okay, so this is my structure.
Okay.
Okay, the chart of account structure. So now, as I said, so if I have created it as separate segment rule, so then I can attach it here. If I have created this as account combination rule, so
Mm.
then I can select the options from here. Okay, so then, as I said, so if I want to give it for charge account, I'll have to attach here. Okay, and then if I want to give it for the accrual account, then I can give it here, or for the variables. So apart from that, we also have a destination based charge account and the variation also. Okay. So these are the five accounts that we have. So usually it is the actual and the charge account primarily, and there are certain scenarios that we will use the variance accounts also. Okay. So for
Destination
now,
account.
yeah.
What is different from charge account to destination charge account based on the location or what?
Yeah, so this destination is basically based on the delivery location that this charge account will be applied, but this will not validate the destination, I mean, where this particular item will be delivered.
Okay. But in that case, if we provide a rule with the mapping, uh, that is delivery location, okay.
Okay,
In that case, when the charge account, when it is selected, by default it will select some account, right?
yeah,
With the default combinations.
yeah, correct. So here we have one is that charge account and the other one is destination charge account. So
Mm.
if we see this purchase order screen or the receipt screen, so I mean basically the purchase order screen is where we can see. So
Mm.
apart from that, if I want to see the receipt transaction, so I'll have to do the costing and this thing. But if I'm taking this purchase order transaction, so
Mm.
wherein I can see two things. So one is this charge account and the other one is destination charge account.
Mm.
So both the accounts will be populated, but in terms of booking the transaction, or what is the expense that is incurred in this case, it is either the destination charge account
Mm.
or the charge account. So let's say I wanted to basically track based on the delivery location. So as I said, that is one example that I'm taking. So in this case, this will basically consider the destination charge account, because the condition that I will have to write, or I will write in a way that this is basically based on the delivery location. But in case of charge account, I'll say if this is basically the line item type. So line type is let's say the rental or any other custom line type that I have created. So
Mm.
if this is the line type, then I wanted to have this charge account. So this is basically based on the condition that we are giving, but in terms of setup, it is the same thing.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
But
Oh, yeah.
any point of time we can create only one tag, right? But multiple rules.
Yeah, correct. Correct. One tag and multiple rules. So so if you remember, or I'll just go to that screen. So wherein you can create multiple rules there.
Mm.
So this is TF Yeah, so in this case, I'll have to select this as a second one, and here I'll have to keep either it is mapping set or the constant, whatever it is. So similarly, I'll have to attach multiple mapping set here in order to bring the multiple rules into one tag. So here we can create multiple, but there at the transaction account definition screen, it is only one tag that we can create.
Okay, one second. I have a doubt. I'll clarify
Yeah.
myself. See, I'm creating one tag, and for
Okay,
one chart of count, the rule type can be one. All this can be only one, right? It
correct,
cannot be multiple. Okay. Either account combination or segment. And
correct,
for the given chart of accounts, one tag. So one
correct.
tag only, okay, we can attach to that ledger account rule, right?
Yeah, correct.
Subledger. Okay, okay, right. But each segment we can create multiple rules, right?
Yeah, yeah, correct. We can create.
Right. Okay. Because I'm having a problem in here because the
Okay,
users are not with accounting background.
okay,
Okay. So in AP, they will not be able to find out the chart of accounts exactly where the what is the location, cost center, account code, and all those stuff. So that is
okay,
given by some other department. So
okay,
is that the dependency is there, and sometimes to process the payment, what they do is they enter something and they will process the payment. So
okay,
that case, okay, lot of rate class entries, that is rectification journals. So
okay,
that creates a inefficient process. So for that only, okay, I wanted to do
okay,
max
okay.
close to that. Okay, I can bring it from here. Okay, based on the location and the default cost centers for fixed assets, clearing accounts.
Yeah,
Where it is possible, okay, we can minimize. Other places, okay,
yeah.
it's yeah, it's again user training. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just delete this one.
Yeah.
Save and close.
In 21D, there is a new
Okay,
feature on TAD. Did you
okay.
go? Did you gone through that
For the invoice.
for a TAD
Okay,
for invoice? I think yeah. Uh, there was one. Okay, I didn't explore much, but I was going
okay.
to. We'll discuss in the next week. No problem.
Mm, maybe if you can tell me the option, maybe I can think
Yeah,
of, or
we'll discuss.
I'll have to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
or I'll just check this and come back. So probably we
yeah,
can discuss next week.
because uh,
Yeah.
they said something, but I understood. Okay, that can be used, but I'm not 100% familiar with how it that logic works. So I thought,
Okay.
okay, check with you. Okay, I will also
Oh,
go through this week, and next week we'll both of us will discuss.
yeah, sure, sure. Because this release update, so it's been almost more than 2, 3 weeks back. We had call, so I mean,
Mm.
we'll usually have this internal call. So
Mm.
it's more than this. So I couldn't recollect exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'll
Even
just,
for me, it's the same thing
yeah,
because
yeah,
at the point, okay, we tested and we cleared
yeah.
it, but not. I didn't get into in depth on that.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe we can check. I'll just go through that and we can connect next
Yeah,
week. So, I'll
yeah,
just,
okay. Ongoing, okay, we can connect whatever comes up.
yeah. Okay, I think the other one which we created did not get saved. So, I'll just
Okay,
create it once again. Okay, so, so I'll just give this one. So, the TF one which we created. Okay. I think the account type is different. Maybe I'll try to attach this to Google.
For me, concept is clear now.
Okay,
Yeah, that's okay, fine.
okay,
So
fine.
you can explore more whenever required. Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, fine. That's all I wanted to cover on the transaction account
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah,
Okay,
we will
so
we'll get into deep in the next week after seeing
okay,
the 21D feature also. Okay.
okay, okay, fine. No issues.
Yeah. Because I wanted to do more on this tag
Okay,
to
okay,
implement the company. Yeah.
okay, okay. No issues. Okay, so we'll end the call for today and we'll connect next week.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
it's okay. Fine. No problem. Up to you.
Okay.
Okay. But let's connect next week, Saturday, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. Whenever, is there any holidays? Okay, I will inform you in advance. Okay.
Okay,
Obviously, we it
okay,
will not match with Indian holidays. But
okay,
but Saturday, Sunday, okay, we will do it. No, no, no.
okay, sure, sure.
Okay. And I have some doubts. Can I
Yeah,
clarify? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
One is for contract. Is there an
Okay.
approved workflows
Approval workflow.
for contract?
So for contracts, we don't have specifically the approval workflow. So it is based on the document type that we'll have to write the approvals.
So in the BPM, right?
Yeah, correct. In the BPM.
Okay. In, there is no rules like for invoice approval and all, right?
Yeah, so there for the invoice approval or the purchase order, we have specifically this page is for this invoice or this page is for purchase
Okay.
order. But here for the contracts or the BPA, so we don't have specifically for this process. So
Hmm.
using this transaction type, so we'll have to write the rules there.
How it works? Any just in the eye level, how it works? Can you?
So yeah, so at high level, so the way this works is that the condition will go something like this.
Hmm.
So if this is the document type
Hmm.
and in the value, so we'll have to say the document value is contract or the blanket purchase agreement. So if you are giving this, so let's say in this case I have given this as a contract. So
In the
in this
BPM,
contract again,
in
yeah,
the BPM, we'll have to create a new rule, right? In that case.
yeah, new rule.
Okay, okay. Because we cannot use any existing ones. So we'll have to
Yeah,
create a rule and there, okay, we will have to select these document types, then we will have to write the
correct,
condition.
correct.
Okay, 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 right. Okay, fine. I'll explore it. No problem. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing
Okay,
is on, see, currently in AP, if you look at, we have one is that is invoice approvals, I'm saying. Invoice
okay,
approval and that is invoice approval before payment and sorry, before accounting and after accounting.
okay,
Okay. Currently, okay, I have a scenario like validation, accounting, and approval.
okay,
Okay. Sorry, other way around. Validation, approval, and
okay,
accounting is scheduled program. It runs and its accounts. Okay,
okay,
that's the way it is there. But
okay.
after approval, is there anything? Can we put a stop in some using some functionality for user not to process the payment?
So if we want not to process this, so only option that I can think of is this hold, but
Hold.
this would be the manual, yeah, the hold, but that would be the manual activity completely because
Mhm.
let's say if I have 10 invoices, then I can put hold for each of that. But if I have probably more than 50, 60, so which I won't be able to do it. So in that case, I'll have to schedule
You
this hold to put this invoices on hold. So this is one option which I can think of in order to not to
can you show
process.
me out in that hold?
Uh, Sorry, I missed you. Can you repeat once?
No, can you show me in the screen in the system?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just check one invoice which was created. Okay, this is already accounted. Let me try to create one invoice
Hmm.
and I'll try to put hold and then we'll see if that is getting accounted.
We can create manual holds only for payment part, right?
No, manual hold we can even apply to the invoices.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, right.
So, I mean, you got it or I'll create one?
Yeah, you create it, please.
Okay. So, I'll just use this one.
One 109.
Okay, I think the distribution is not great. Or I'll try to create one hold so we can use that one because I'm not sure how this behaves. So I'll just create one hold.
Yeah. one more doubt.
Yeah.
When running this create accounting,
Okay.
in the invoice page itself, if you do the posting,
Okay.
so what is the difference? This create accounting will create only the accounting part and it will not get posted to, right?
No, post to ledger and this one both are same. So, but that is for one transaction that we are doing, but this is for the
And,
entire one, right? So it's but the process is same because
yeah.
the child programs also. So
Mm,
it is almost similar. So whatever we are seeing for the create accounting. So
mm.
only difference is this is for batch and that is for the single
So,
transaction. But
so there is no difference in Fusion, create accounting and post, right?
correct.
Mm, okay, okay.
Because here we are saying both transfer to ledger and
Mm.
post in general ledger. But
E-
there we don't have option of transferring to general ledger. So it is directly posting in the general ledger.
Okay. But here, even if you say no,
Yeah.
we cannot do any corrections on the whatever accounted journals, right?
No.
It is.
Corrections, if the source allows us to change it, so
Mm,
we'll be able to change it if we say post as no and transfer to general ledger as yes. So
mm,
once that is imported and if the source, let's say this payable source allows us to make the changes,
mm.
then we'll be able to make the changes before posting it. That is allowed.
Okay. So subledger in the payable, okay, then in that case, okay, we will have to invoice options, we will have to do that option, enable.
No, this one, the journal source. So in the journal source,
Oh,
so we'll have to allow this edit. So if that is yes, then
mm.
we can make the changes and do the posting. So once that is posted only, we will not be able to change anything.
Okay, okay, okay. Right. Okay, right. Thank you.
So just change this to posting, yes. So logically, this should not allow us to basically post this invoice which we created because by default, this invoice will be on hold. So when the invoice is on hold, it should not pick for processing.
Okay. It's fine now. I will check it.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So,
And
I mean, this should not logically work because it should
okay,
end up in
test with the
warning.
okay, I can test it, not a problem. And
Okay.
one more question I have.
Yeah.
For purchase orders, uh,
Okay.
okay, for a particular purchase orders, okay. what are the invoices um, reconciled against that purchase order? Is there a separate report for it?
I think we have this matching report, the payable invoice matching report. So
Oh,
it should give us
mm,
the matched purchase orders, but I don't think that will give by the purchase order, but it's against the invoice. What are the purchase orders? Those are matched basically. But if we want to have something kind of an reconciliation between the purchase order and the invoice that is booked, so
mm,
probably in terms of accounting, we can use this accrual account in order to track that. But if we want to look at the transaction level, then we will have to go with the custom report only.
okay, 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 right. Okay, I have a report now, so it's okay
Okay.
now for that. Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you, Arun. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. Yeah,
We'll meet
thanks.
next time.